Hello, this is Paul. As you realize, this is the second part of a previous lesson concerning the recycle bin. The recycle bin is a stepping stone to removing a file from our hard drive and not be able to use it anymore. However, the recycle bin is a resource where we can put them in there as a first step and decide to recall them and bring them back to activity. So there is a two-step process to be able to do this. Now take notice that in our directory we have already removed one of the files that was to be deleted from the hard drive, and this directory can have a recall of a file that I wanted to use again. So let's take a look at this. After removing a file from our directory and sending it to the recycle bin, we can go to the desktop and realize that there seems to be an icon change that reveals pieces of paper in our little trash can. Now this icon will remain the same if there's one file in that directory, or if there is a whole load of files in there, it'll all be the same. Now also take notice that if we press the right button on your mouse, it'll bring up a menu and show us where we can empty the recycle bin. Now since we're looking to recall a file from there, we will not use this button. Instead, I will go to the desktop and I will double click, that is a left button double click of your mouse, and be able to open the directory that contains all the files that are in it. It will give us a complete list in whatever type of view that we want, just like any other directory, and we will be able to select one file or a selection of files to recall, and we'd be able to do it and send that file back to the original directory. It is very important to remember that the files that are listed in this directory, that they are not usable while they remain in the recycle bin. They must be restored to be able to be used again. We can compare the directories of the recycle bin and look at the original directory. We take notice that the file is no longer in the directory from whence it came. We have to return that file back to the original directory to be able to use it. I will right click on top of one of the files that I have just selected to recall. Now take notice that I am selecting only one here, but we can have any number of files to be recalled at one time. And to make a right click after making our selection will take effect for all of the selected files. After using the right click of the mouse, we will have our menu to select Restore, which is on the top of the menu. And I remind you, this will take effect for as many files that you choose at one time. So it can be an expedited process. I hope you realize by now that Windows does offer more than one way of doing things. And in this I will mention that on the right side of this window there is a restore button to bring back all the selected files that are desired. Now take notice also that once this procedure is done, the file that we were interested in removing is no longer in the recycle bin, but when we go back to the original directories, we will realize that those files are restored. When making use of the right button on top of the files, take notice that we do have a selection delete. The delete here will remove only the selected files that you're sure you want to get rid of, while holding on to the other files that might be needed later on. I need to mention at this time that this procedure only works on your C drive, which is your main drive. When transferring files to be deleted, it needs to realize that when you use another drive, such as a memory stick or even an external hard drive, to delete a file will be a one-step procedure, and it'll be gone forever. It will not go to the recycle bin. So be careful on that. Now, we have covered a lot of information so far in a short period of time, and we are going to get into the next segment on realizing how much space is reserved on your drive to be able to have this take place. There is a time when the recycle bin will become full and needs to be emptied, or files needs to be gleaned out to make more room. Be sure to feel free to play this as often as you desire. And I'd like to mention that these slides can be downloaded if you have Real Player installed on your computer. And to have that flexibility for immediate use is of an advantage. And I invite you to not only replay this, but be sure to move on and see how your system can be adjusted for the maximum use.